What you watching?
Oh, I'm watching Motherhood Sex Marijuana podcast, as you should, on YouTube.
Wow. My friend, Motherhood Sex Marijuana podcast on YouTube, the best. Check it out.
Motherhood Sex Marijuana podcast. Motherhood Sex Marijuana podcast.
Hey, I want a shirt, I want a shirt, look. La camisa está linda, loco. La camisita está linda. Beautiful shirt.
Motherhood Sex Marijuana in the motherfucking building. Yes. Usually have technical issues. We usually have technical issues, and apparently that was it just now. Shit, that's the blessing of the gods. The blessing of
hopefully after this we good. No more.
We can't be good. No more gooder than this. Fuck that.
Yeah.
All in the building at the same time too. Shit, that's what's up, Queen.
I'm so excited.
What's up, Queen?
How's it going, guys?
Irie, shit, excited to talk to you. What's up? But before that, we have something to say, don't we?
Yes, we do. Motherhood Sex Marijuana in the motherfucking building. Yes,
Queen.
We got Queen Krys. Is it Krys Wolf? We should say, or how should we address you?
So most people just call me Wolf, but my name is Krys Wolf, and a lot of people howl. So it's like, oh. There you go. Listen, I'm here for the unique howls. Everyone has a different howl, and I'm so here for it.
And you're amazing. You're freaking delightful. You're a star. We knew it from the moment. I knew it from the moment that I saw you at that rooftop party. She was rolling up, and we're going to get into her amazing rolling skills and the whole story behind that, because I'm sure everybody wants to know. But
girl, please, first of all, let me just say this, that first of all, when I met you, because I think I met you at probably at Work and Roll, probably at one of those events at Work and Roll. That's what the clouds are saying to me. The clouds be clouding, but that's what the clouds are saying to me, right?
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? So
my cat wants to be a part of the interview, so we get down.
Oh, it's all good.
Oh yeah, she get her hair done, but it's all good. I mean, shit.
No, it's not done. We're not doing it. We're on a pause right now. But he just he's very nosy and like has to be in the mix, so he's just trying to see what's going on.
Understood.
So he might pop up a few more times. If you see a face like that, because he's probably scratching at my back.
Oh, gee, understood.
But no, but yeah, from what I remember meeting you at a Work and Roll event, and I didn't even know that you get actually paid to roll weed. Like I had no, like Ruby had to tell me, like seriously, and it was just like
I sure did. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay, so I met her. Kai met her at Work and Roll in New York, and I met her at the party in New York as well, because it was at the CWCB, the rooftop party. So I'm over there, trying to be cool and everything, walking, and then to my left, I noticed this goddess. And she's sitting there in her glory, and she's just looking all kinds of fine, which y'all can see her. She's fine as hell. And I'm like,
I appreciate it.
And I didn't know what was going on. I was just coming in and just kind of blinded by things. But this energy that I felt from you was like indescribable, yo. It's just like, you're just pulling me in. I'm like, why is this queen pulling me in? And then I was like, no, I'm not going to look like I'm thirsty or nothing, trying to go over there and try to hit that weed. But then I eventually had to ask her, I'm like, are you rolling weed for like, or I didn't get it, right? But she'll explain what she does, and she's a master at it. And I'm like, okay. And anyway, I just knew we had to talk to you. And then Kai and I ran into you at the actual facility, right? Or the
Yeah.
venue where they were holding said party, kind of in passing. And then, but long story short, can you tell us about what makes Wolf so fucking dope?
One, I appreciate the grand gestures, the words, everything. I'm still taken back by it. I really do appreciate you guys for that. Yeah, I love to talk about what I do. So I'm a professional roller. This is kind of like what the piece would look like. It also has like little filter art. Excuse this one has lipstick on it.
Custom.
Yes. So basically what I do is I come to parties and I'm hired as a professional roller. So either you can have me by the hour or you can have me just to pull up and kind of like show vibes. And with that being said, you bring me what you consider is your most fire and let me put that in a really dope art piece.
And the art piece,
Which
meaning,
is
yes.
me and a pre-roll.
How much
So
do
I
you
call it an art
charge?
piece. It's 15 a roll. And that's like when I'm at an influencer, depending on the venue, it could be free for the night, just depending on what the venue purchases, the kind of package.
Mhm.
But what it is really, it's a bedazzled pre-roll. It has like these, washi tapes with different designs on it. Sometimes I have like ones with my picture on it. And like I did one with Happy Monkey where we collabed for the sex museum. So it had little sex symbols all over it. And it was really dope. It's a really dope thing. And yeah, I just, I call it artwork because I do a lot of filter art pieces. And I don't know if that's gonna come up on the camera because I think my
Yeah, it didn't come up too
Okay,
good
let's
on the
try that
camera.
again. Let me see one more time.
Boom.
Okay, now I see it. Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
Go
So
down.
these are the filter pieces that that you would smoke on. And yeah, that's kind of like what makes it so unique. It's a unique piece. I like to say that I'm like the Tiffany's of blunt rolling. Think of like high-end, sophisticated joint rolling. You're looking bad, you're feeling bad, you're feeling amazing. Even for the dudes, like, sometimes the guys like, if I see colors that they might have on, I'll match their joint with their outfit and stuff like that. And it's just a really good piece to like start a conversation. Recently we discovered that a lot of people like to say maybe I'm like a celebrity or like the it girl. And I like to say now where it's like, as soon as I pass you a wolf roll, no matter what room you're in, you are now that it girl. So it doesn't have to be me. It doesn't have to be me.
The
It's just
new
you
way of
holding the piece.
marketing, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what, you genius, you. How did you come up with this concept? How
That's
did
the
this come
first
about?
thing I was gonna ask her too. Like, yo, because
Come on.
not for nothing. The
genius.
creativity that has been that we have seen, as a podcast has, as far as the people that we've interviewed, like the creativity within cannabis, baby. I am loving it. Everybody is like, no, we're going to figure out a way to stay high. We're going to figure out a way to stay high and get paid for it. Because I can't do this.
Yeah.
These corporate plantations, I can't go there and pretend like I don't like it. I'm gonna love weed. I'm gonna get paid for weed. What is going on? So yes, please tell us about how the hell you even came up with the concept.
Okay, so I met a friend named Tech. He works for Happy Monkey at the time. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Happy Monkeys, but OG in the space, throwing events and stuff like that, where it's really like close-knit family kind of vibes. So this is like post-COVID, they're looking to hire a roller at these events. And one of the qualifications was they wanted someone who like used water and had a really nice roll to it, So like when I say water, I use like this thing that is a water pen, and it's pretty much just a pen that holds water, and basically what it does, it allows me to seal a joint or a blunt without having to physically lick it.
Right.
And we're talking after COVID, so everybody's like, ugh,
Yes, of course.
Right. And then for me personally, I never liked rolling any type of leaf without water. So I thought leaves were like, or I think leaves taste disgusting when you're like sealing them, no matter backwood Dutch, not
She right.
flavor, non-flavor.
And here I am.
Yeah. No, I commend you. I commend you because I personally just I'm already a picky eater, so like it doesn't sit with me. So I always use water, especially for leaves. They were like,
Okay.
"Can you do it on paper?" It was like, "Yeah, no problem, sure."
Yeah.
But to credit the actual design of the wolf row, I would have to say thank you for Kim B. She's an
Okay.
OG in my space. Just a
Okay.
really dope female who, you know, is putting other females onto the game and really
Shout
trying
out
to make
Kim
sure
B.
that we get paid.
Shout out. We
So she
love
came up
you.
to
We
me.
want you on the podcast too.
Yes, and this was for the CWCB Expo actually.
Okay.
Oh,
So
Okay.
this was like 2 years ago because last year or the one that just passed would be my first year as Wolf. The year
right.
before that I was Wolf, but like kind of like still really low key.
Mm.
But Kim came to me and she was like, I want something like super girly. I want like sparkles and glitz. And she was like, you know, just what a filter. You know, I don't want, because she was smoking and had caught weed in her teeth. And she was like, she never wanted to have weed in her teeth again.
Right, right.
So she was just like, I want a filter, super girly. And we tried some different options and thus birthed the Wolf Row. And then now we're just like sealed. It was a hit as soon as I put it out on the market. Well, not even
Nice.
like on the scene, I should say. So then I did Happy Monkey 710 event, and this was in 2022. I did Happy Monkey 710 event, and it went crazy. All people could say was whoever was that badass bitch rolling big ass blunts with the bedazzles and all that. And it was
Nice.
like when I really started to create a name for myself, for the product, and for people to see that it's like, you know, weed is such a negative stigma sometimes, and people look at it so, you know, ugly looking. I've showed people that don't smoke a wolf piece that just want one just to keep in like their cabinet area, like they won't
Right.
ever smoke it. But that, you know, they appreciate the artistry inside the filters or the band and how like it's designed and stuff like that. So yeah, super
That's
excited though. I definitely have
remarkable.
to credit my
That's what's
community.
up. That's what's up. And the fact that, you know, obviously, I mean, based on what you're describing, I'm hearing that, you know, this just literally started within the last 2 years, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So for you to get to the level that you're at now is you know, in such a short time, it's
Yeah.
fucking awesome. Like
Yeah.
so what's your grand scheme of behind all of this? Like what are you trying to do besides? Because I'm thinking, you know what I mean, with your designs, if you hooked up with like, you know, some prime strains, you know what I mean, you could, you know, y'all could, you know, do a little collab and, you know, hit some of these stores. I mean, has that, you know,
So
came
the
to your
offer
attention?
to do so the offer to do stores has been put up on like the table right now.
Dope.
At the moment I'm gonna stay away from pre-rolls just for a second. I still want to build up the hype of getting a piece in person because I think that's the beauty of it all, is
Right.
because I don't want to tell you what to smoke. My company is
Right.
not about this is what you should smoke in your weed. No.
Right.
I want you to give me what you think is fire. Because again, we all don't smoke the same. You know, I have uncles that prefer the greens because the za is too much for them now, you know?
Right.
So
Right.
it's like, I want you to give me what you think is gas, and then I'm going to put that in a piece that most fits you, you know? So I have people that don't like bigger filters. They like a little smaller filter. Like I have this piece on me right now. It's a chisel tip.
Okay.
And they like pieces like this. They come smaller. This is just a really huge piece.
Right.
It's actually a joint that I had rolled up. I smoked it with my teammates, and then I dipped it in resin. So now it's a necklace.
Dope.
Wow. Okay.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's
So,
beautiful.
but you know, long term, let's say we're at an event together and you go to this event and I have the band of the party of the event that we're at, and now you decide to get your Wolf Road dipped. And when you think back to that piece that you got dipped, you're thinking back to a moment of time. So now this is a memorabilia, and you can think of who you might have smoked that piece with. What connections did you make that day? and now it's a story that goes on, and from a lot of people, it's like they smoke a piece and they're like, oh, I don't want to throw it out. And it's like, well, now you don't have to. We can make it into jewelry and repurpose it into something completely different,
Yeah.
I love it. That's a business you could get into. I'm pretty sure you're doing that, right?
Yeah, so right now I have a few pieces. This is another piece that is just next to me on hand. And again, I've done someone recently. They had more smaller ones, so they were a little bit smaller than this one. And it was a clip, something that they smoked, and they saved their clips, and I dipped it for them, and they're now turning it into barrettes. So I'm super excited to see the outcome of it.
Why not? Wow.
Why not? Why not? I have friends that want to do. You could do charm bracelets. Like, the possibility is honestly endless. But again, the concept of it is now there's a piece that you can remember, maybe who you smoked it with or the vibes that night, and that can take you back into a time where you're like, oh, that was a good night.
Yeah. Kai, we need a Motherhood Sex Marijuana one. Next time,
Let's do it.
We need one, Queen. We'll have to support that your business by getting one. Because
but wait a minute though. But wait a minute. That would require one of us to clip a blunt that we smoking and say, yeah, we. No, just like right about here. Just be like, yeah, I'm done.
Come on.
I'm gonna be done right about here.
Well, no, as long as you
and
get
I'm gonna give it to you.
Right, you can do it as close to the filter as possible if you want to. Like, I have friends who take the weed out because they've smoked it all and it's just the tip, like just literally the filter tip. So whatever it is, the more important piece of it is the band and the actual filter art that's inside of it, because I would say that's more so the artwork. Right. Anybody can roll. There's a whole bunch of rollers out there
with the memory attached to it, which is why you're asking for it to be resonated in the first place. You had to have given us shit, in some sense. I'm all about that multi-beneficial situation. And I think what you've done here is really like you've certainly opened up my mind as to there is no excuse, girl. Do what you like. Monetize it, or do what you like, do it well, and then build a team, monetize your shit, and promote the hell out of it, and just be about that. So I really commend you for being so amazing. What other hustles you got? Because I know you got a lot more.
Right.
Actually, no. I mean, as far as if we're talking like job wise, I do take care of my mom, which is why I'm able to be a little bit more flexible. We, that's like my main profession. But right now, like right before I became a professional roller, I just graduated dog grooming school. Dope. And when I say I have not touched a dog or like grooming shears since I became a roller, like that's what my time is filled on. So like,
hey, you know how?
I used to run another social media page, and it got to the point where it's like, I don't have time to be on the phone to create filter art, because 9 out of 10, my time is with my hands. So even on my page, it's slack sometimes where it's like, my hands are always occupied rolling and stuff like that, that when I do get a second, it's like, I don't want nothing in my hand.
I feel it. And that's gotta be great to you know what I mean? Because first of all, we live in a society where you gotta have more than one hustle. You know what I'm saying? And
it helps for sure.
You know what I mean? It definitely helps. So you know what I mean? So if you have your hands so busy with rolling weed, let's keep it fucking G. If you got your hands so busy with rolling weed that the only thing you got time for is your mama, which is the number one top priority, you living a good life, girl. You live a good life.
No, honestly, I am so thankful to my cannabis community and for really supporting like the goal and seeing what I'm doing and appreciating what I'm doing. It's all about putting that energy out there and then seeing what comes back to you, not expecting anything, but just seeing, like, I genuinely love when I see someone new come across like a wolf piece and they're unaware of what it is. And maybe they're with someone who knows what it is. And then they're telling them like, yo, this is what it is. Like, this is the hype, And it's just like, it's a beautiful thing to watch because, again, like I said, it doesn't even physically have to be me. You can get a piece from a friend and now go smoke that with somebody. And now you're that it person because people want to, the bling is going to catch their eye. And then it's like, oh, well, then what do you have? A butterfly? You have a weed plant? What is inside your filter? We joke about like collecting them all. There's a whole bunch of different filters. Maybe you collect all the filters, and this, like, I'm blessed that I met up with a company called Snail Papers, and they do print my,
say word. You
We
work,
love
you work with Snail
them.
Papers? Oh shit,
yeah.
nice.
So they do my papers right now. And the good thing, I love these papers. They have like color filters,
Oh,
and that really
yeah.
allows me to create my art pieces. But Snail Paper is such a good paper brand, and I'm so happy that they decided to collab with me and do my papers. And that's been a really big notch on the belt for me personally.
So wait, do they do the filters too?
What happened?
Do they do the filters too?
No, I make all the filters.
Oh,
they provide
nice.
the colors of the filters.
Oh.
So the filters themselves are organic tubes, and they come in like, oh, this is an empty one. It's basically just like this hollow wood tip. I think I have one right here. It's just this hollow wood tip.
Okay.
And then I put a piece of filter art inside of it.
Okay.
And I think
okay, I got you.
So I have like butterfly filters, weed plant ones, flowers. It's a couple of different ones that are out right now.
Ma, you are sick with it.
That
like
is
you are
up.
shit, yeah.
Appreciate it.
Big ups to you, and shout out to Snail Papers.
Big time shout out to Snail Papers.
We met up with them through the conference. Shout out to CWCB and Maggie from Snail Papers. She's our rep, and so hey,
amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. I love Maggie. I don't think I have the other ones near me, but she created another wolf pack for me. And this is going to be like a collector of 20 different influencers in the cannabis space. And they're all going to have like these specific characters. And it kind of describes like what's their strength and weakness. It's a really cool booklet concept. So I'm excited for those to come out.
That just sound hot.
Come on.
She's, shout out to Maggie. She's really killing it.
Oh hell yeah, Maggie is the shit, definitely. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if you know, but she makes our rolling papers as well, and
fire.
You know what I mean? And that's the main thing that everybody's like as soon as people see them, they're just like, where you get these from? Like, yo,
great quality.
Definitely
work is
all over the
amazing.
place.
Boom.
I love when I get to show people the color filters because I'm like, depending on how your day's feeling, you can pick whatever color you want to roll up in. And if you're a person that likes to smoke your clips, you can look in your ashtray and say, oh, I smoked that blue paper the other day or that blue filter the other day. So when you actually smoke that joint, so it's not like sitting there being expired.
Beautiful. And so if not weed, if not motherhood, because we know that you're a mother, so we know we can talk about the babies in a little bit, but if not that, what else is Wolf doing?
Just trying to like expand the knowledge to other states now. So I have a trip coming up on November 30th. That's like this week coming. They're doing the first ever National Hash Hole Day. So they put 420 and 710 together, and we have 1130, which is now going to be National Hash Hole Day. So it's the first event in Cali that they're throwing. They're going to have a whole bunch of rollers come out. And I know like they're having competitions and stuff like that. So I'm going to go, stick my foot in the water and see what the vibe is out there.
Hell yeah.
Hell
kind of
yeah.
represent a little bit for the East Coast and tell them like we got some stuff going on over here too.
Whoa. Shout out
Exactly.
to
And that's
East
what you
Coast for
call
sure.
networking at its finest,
Yeah,
expansion at its finest. Because let's just say you
We're
know
so
what I'm
proud of
saying, you
you.
bump into
Thank you.
somebody like, you know what I mean, like Snoop Dogg, even though he was talking shit to pump some smokeless machine.
I knew it was a
You could-
publicity thing.
You could bump into somebody like that actually pays their rollers a salary. Like,
Yeah.
real talk, he got
So,
like
you
his
know,
roller gets a fucking
If you're even looking for that.
salary.
and so I was gonna say, I don't see me being more of a salary roller, more so a
Oh,
specialty. So
okay,
let's say he got an event, he going down the red carpet. He
right.
got to go on the stage. This is where you want a wolf roll, because now we're not talking bedazzles. We're talking real diamonds. You feel me? Like, let's put a real diamond band on that bitch, and you're out there, and that's something that is on you. So now, I've done one for my friend. It was her birthday, and she has this like pink outfit, and she saved some of the fabric from the outfit that she made, and she gave it to me, and I wrapped the fabric around the filter tip. So now her blunt actually matched her outfit. And it was like, it was
That
crazy.
shit's
It was,
sick right there.
my
sick.
goal is, I always say I want to do Rihanna. I want to have her have a wolf hand,
Why
a wolf
not?
piece in hand. I think she would
With
love the
ASAP.
concept. You feel
Exactly,
me?
because it
And
ain't like because
together.
they got kids, they don't smoke weed no more. Fuck you mean?
Listen,
Come on now.
right.
Fuck you mean?
You needed more with them.
Hello.
When you get that, can you tell them to come on our podcast and talk about their parenthood experience? Why the fuck not?
Yeah, best believe.
Shout out, motherfucker out.
Yeah.
Man, listen,
But
that's one thing they want to
I
do is
joke.
keep their shit quiet as far as
Right,
their parenting is concerned. But
I
yo,
joke, but that is definitely the goal.
but that's definitely the goal.
I see it
you
for
know
you.
what I mean? But
Yeah, thank you.
But how many? But yeah, let's talk about that though, because actually, because even though she said that we knew you had kids, I personally didn't know. Maybe she knew more of your business than I did. But but how many kids do we have?
I don't have any biological kids. I do have a cat. That's my son.
Oh.
But at the moment, I do have temporary custody of two of my nephews and my niece. They're 3 months, or she's 4 months now. So it's 4 months, 5, and 12.
Girl.
I'm not doing it alone though. My family's super supportive and they're helping me through it all. But yes, I went from no kids to 2 kids, and then my niece just came 2 weeks after she was born. But they're all healthy, happy. They should be going home soon. I'm so thankful for this experience, because without having them, I wouldn't know what a Canna mom goes through. And then to actually get to kind of tap into that a little bit, again, they're not my biological children, but having to have no responsibilities but me and my cat to 2 children, and then more recently my niece, is definitely an eye-opening experience. Like, shout out to you moms out there, because you guys are killing it. I don't know how, and I'm thankful that I have the amount of help that I have. But it was an eye-opener going from, they call me Supreme Titi, to now like being more strict and structured and having to put rules down. And it's like, it's a different territory for me. It's a different territory for them. But again, like I said, I've been thankful for it. I'm happy that, we got this bonding experience, and I'm super active with my nieces and nephews. Even before that, I have other nieces and nephews, and I try to be there as much as possible. I'm known as like the fun titi. They're gonna call me when they got like school trips and stuff like that, and I'll go with them.
Of course.
But so yeah, it's a long weekend at Titi's house.
That's what's up.
I mean, shout out to you for stepping up in the first place. Let's keep it real. Because as come on now, as a person, you could have just said, "Nah, I'm good. I ain't not." What happened? I said you better find somebody else to do it. You know what I'm saying? You could have, and at the end of the day, yes, people could be mad, but let's be honest. If she was not ready to, or to deal with that type of level of responsibility, she could have said no. But the fact that she said yes and is taking it on, and is, and because you're involved in cannabis. You now understand, what, some of us have been going through for, since, since they were born, you know what I mean? Because a lot of us ain't just start smoking weed when, we got pregnant. You know what I'm saying? No, a lot of us was indulged.
Yeah,
and
even
then all of a sudden we took a break or whatever. Some took a little bit of break. Some people, it depended. You know what I mean? If the strain was too much, I would be like, chill. I'm gonna take a 5. I'm gonna take
right. And I'm thankful I have to go to pregnancy, so I'm like, ooh, super lucky.
Yeah, that too. You kind of missed out on that part. You kind of missed out on that part.
But I feel like the age groups, I'm pretty. I could go without childbirth. Some people have C-sections, so
hey, you are absolutely right. I say this all the time. Parenthood, I think giving birth naturally is sometimes overrated, especially because so many kids need homes and need, and it's all about community anyway. And so it does take a special woman to do that. As far as partnerships, is Krys, are you a lone wolf or are you an attached wolf? That's a question for ya.
I am definitely a lone wolf.
Okay, so what does it take to date a supreme titi such as yourself?
Honestly, it's really just a nice heart and understanding, where I'm at in the space, and even just me growing at the moment. I am a sucker for super tall dudes, which is my weakness.
What is it about that?
I call it the short people complex because I'm like 5'2", and for me, I like a tall guy is like I hate to say it because it sounds shallow, but I've never dated a guy under 6'3", and I've tried, and it's like something about the shoulders don't add up. I just love really tall men.
Wow.
I'm a big girl.
I feel her
I'm a big girl too.
I feel her because if I could look him in the eye, I'm sure I'm 5'0", 4'9" whatever, somewhere in the between.
Y'all fun size. That's it.
If me and him are looking each other in the eye, it's not the same.
No, but that's so fun.
It's
not the same.
I'm almost 6 feet, right?
Okay.
And so for me, I love me a short guy with confidence. It has confidence and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He would look like he's 7 feet taller than me. You feel me?
That's for you. I wish. I always say it, I'm like, the shoulders don't add up. I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's honestly, and again, it's hard to come across people in general, like not even just men, but just people in general who are genuine people, who are kind people.
The honesty is not in the building.
You feel me? And that's a hard thing to find sometimes. And then again, like I said, this is all still new for me. This space is all still new for me. And granted, I had about a year to kind of figure it out before the kids came. But then when the kids were given to me, it was like in the prime of also my career in a sense. I'm trying to build this structure. And I looked at it as like, if these were my biological children and this is what moms go through, like if they can do it, then I'm sure enough that I can get it done too. It's not asking for something crazy. It's just, again, figuring out how to manage going forward and coming up with a plan. And again, if I didn't have the support system that I have, it probably wouldn't be so smooth, but I really have a great support system, and everybody's pulling their weight. So I'm just so thankful. And again, their parents aren't bad parents, so they're very present and making sure that we all know that it's an unfortunate circumstance, but it's also temporarily, and as a family we just have to get through it, and honestly
clearly,
just seeing strong moms.
And clearly, there's a bit of no judgment going on in your circle too, because obviously nobody's coming at you, or well, I'm not saying obvious. I shouldn't say obviously because I don't know, but let me know that based on your cannabis use and your being in a cannabis business, in a cannabis space, obvious, is there a judgment in your family? Like how do they treat, your whole, cannabis structure?
Yeah, so again, growing up, I used to think cannabis was terrible.
We
I
all
have
did.
family members that didn't make it look good neither. When I did start smoking, it was later on in life. And one thing my dad told me was just like, if you could support your habit, then I have nothing to say to you. Because as long as you're healthy and you can pay your bills and you're not, begging and you're doing what you have to do, continue to push, because everybody needs something to mellow them out, Some people have artwork, some people have smoking, everything at moderation is super important, and it's all about getting like the important things done.
Word.
So, my family is super supportive. They see what I'm doing. They see how productive I am, whether it's in the space, whether it's with my nephews. I take them out on the weekends. Like, I do a lot of gigs. So like in the beginning, when they first came, I was doing so many gigs that I didn't realize they need quality time, And so I kind of hit a bump in the road, and I was like, oh, I got to start taking them out and doing things with them.
Right.
Because
you're a new mom. It's like, so, you know what I mean? You didn't automatically adapt to this shit, and it's not like there's a fucking rule book. Like, even when you push them out, ain't like a rule book come out with them.
It's so different.
It's so different, But like I said, I'm just, again, super happy that like I feel like the universe has lined up, just everything that led up to it also was kind of like putting me in position for this time frame. So like I wasn't big on noticing signs until this happened. Maybe like a month before the boys came, my best friend was living with me. And if she would have still been here, they probably wouldn't have let it happen, because I only have a 2-bedroom. Right. But being that she moved out a month before they came, I had a whole bedroom with a bed, like a queen size bed, just chilling in there. So it was like, I was, again, blessed to have the lineup where it was like one thing left and, something else came through. And it was like, I think it was needed in this time frame, in this moment. And like I said, I'm just so happy that it happened to be where it taught me something so beautiful. And it connected me with a community so beautiful, like shout out to you Canna Moms, because y'all got to do this 24/8. I just got to do this for a couple of months,
But still, it's like, you know what, as somebody who has been a victim to, I'm going to say it, to the system, because CPS don't give a shit about these children. As somebody who was on the opposite side, where I had my children taken, it was a little different, because there was it's like in layers, which I can't get into, but the ultimate reality was, I don't agree with how things were done. And it's because it's a system that's not supposed to help you succeed. But thankful for like grandparents fall into this category, aunts, uncles, anybody of responsibility in that village that comes through and saves the day, so that this child doesn't have to be another victim of a society of a system that's just simply broken, where you get this stranger taking care of your kid, and it's attached to a check. When it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like a reward to have this disbandment of families going on. And look, that's another conversation too now, isn't it? So it's like,
I was going to say, because I remember when the worker first came to my house, and he was like, oh yeah, you'll get a check for them. And he had said something else along the line. And it was just like, oh, about like maybe even getting future children. And I was like, no, I'm literally doing, because they're my nephew. I don't want more kids. Unless you're asking me to foster a dog or a cat, no thank you.
Come on. And so
because obviously some people do make it a whole business. So he was just, I guess trying to test your skin just to see what you was gonna say. But at the same time, you also got to look at it as, maybe this is, like experience for, for your, your future, motherhood in the future. Because at the end of the day, ain't nothing wrong with, having certain life lessons. And like you said, things it happened for a reason. I feel like when things happen for a reason. So, you know what I mean? So it definitely is something that, works for, even if it doesn't work for you now, it'll work for you in the future. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, like you said, the fact that you had a support system within that
That's a
circle
luxury
is big
nowadays.
as fuck.
Yeah,
It's
I
fucking
That's a
know.
huge as fuck.
commodity. I shouldn't say
I
luxury.
know.
It is actually a luxury because when people have
No, it's a
absolutely
fucking luxury
no-
for real. Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. And hey, yeah, you're right. Oh my goodness.
No, I
Anyway,
couldn't even imagine like if I had to work the amount of times that the amount of times in a week that I have to work without my support system and not having to take them from a home to put them to a sitter's house or whatever the case is, but like having family members say, oh, I could stay the night with them, or I could hold them down for the night, and then coming to my house and just helping. It's
boom.
and again,
That
I'm
alone,
thankful.
because you already
Yeah,
you already
Yeah.
know. I mean, even if you
Good for
don't
you.
know, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure you found out that babysitting ain't cheap, and depending on what kind of
yeah.
hours is you're
You know,
doing it, what kind
and
of hours you
honestly,
giving, you know what I
my
mean? Oh yeah.
family's
And
my
there's
family's
and
pretty
even with
big.
like daytime with daycare centers, they got
Yeah,
people, they got overtime fees,
I
overtime
honestly,
fees.
I don't trust it, so I just couldn't even imagine. Like, I'm thankful enough that, again, I work at home or I work with my mom and, that's in her home. So it's like grandma, you could be with grandma while I'm working, like she's helping out and stuff like that. And it's just, again, it's a beautiful thing because I wouldn't even trust the daycare system, There's just so many stories that you see, and it's just like, how do you trust your child going out into the world? And this is not even like something I birthed. So I cannot even imagine like how do you let your innocent creature just go out to the earth and like, it's like, here you go. I couldn't
You
even
know what
Wait,
imagine,
though?
and
You
some
know
it's
what
people
hard.
don't
though?
have
A
any
lot of us
choice.
had to
It's
do it like
really
that though.
Right.
Real
I
talk.
know, and
A
that's
lot
hard.
of
That's what I'm
us had to
saying.
do it like that. I'm a speak for myself, because you know what I'm saying, there's been times where I had to hit a plantation. You know what I'm saying? And the
Yeah.
plantation was at a certain place at a certain time. I had to be there. And you know what I'm saying? And if daycare opened at this time and daycare was willing to take it, and whatever the
Yeah.
daycare money was, charging, I could pay it. It's just shit. I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
I hear that.
Just
I
walk out
commend
and
you
just,
guys.
with a prayer over your child, and ain't nobody gonna fuck with your child. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? While it definitely is a scary thing, it's something that, a lot of us had to get to do in order to get that money, in order to take care of everything that needed to be taken care of. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Yeah. And
well,
shout out to you guys.
and you know what? That's just in response to a system that's broken. There's other places where they take care of the mom. I think Australia has one of the most humane operations in which how they treat, the first years of pregnancy or whatever. So
I
there's
mean,
other places, pardon?
no, I was gonna say even in like, in America, we don't have it where the men can't even take off more than 2 weeks. And it's not just the mom's job, so it
Exactly.
gets deep, I listen.
And this is all in response, and it's like then you have people like bigging it up because look, I happen to be a parent that's single too. I get it, believe me, but I also believe that there are resources, there's a way, and you can start from nothing and you can build your shit.
Mhm.
Sometimes it does take a little bit of daycare, sometimes you got to get really creative, but at the end of the day, I think as long as we're conscious about the system and not let it beat us up, just be like, okay, this is what it is. It's not meant for me to succeed, but this is how I'm going to utilize it, ride it like a bike until I can get off of this shit.
Basically.
And then I can build my own stuff, because, and again, that's in response to trauma. These are all trauma responses of us having to like figure shit out. And
Yeah.
there's been a lot of like, oh, I don't want to be hard anymore. I want to be soft in my soft girl era. I'm having to learn how to just deal with my masculine and feminine energy. Here we go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I wish
You know the people to humble.
Right.
Exactly. So it's just like,
Oh damn.
Oh, I think she got kicked off.
I don't know what happened to her. but
Why is she still getting into it?
the technical difficulty, motherfucking number 2 in this place. God damn it.
You said
But
it
she'll be
happened.
back.
We thought it was just one, but
It's all
apparently
good.
they
She'll
said
be back. You know,
here's another one.
but no, and see, like I said, I think that, you know, you learning all of that and still, you know what I mean, and basically creating your own business and, you know, making yourself a brand is definitely life lessons for your future. You know what I'm saying? Whether, you know what I'm saying, whether you know, however you become a mom, whether even if you don't become a mom, it's still life lessons to your future. And you know what I mean? Therefore, if like you ever become, you know, find yourself in a situation where you got to take on, you know, let's say, you know, your nephews again, you know what I mean, your niece again, it's like, okay, I know what I need to do to operate. I know what I need to do in order to make sure that they're good, make sure that their education is right, make sure that they're mentally, emotionally right, and still, I'm still continuing my business, and you know what I mean, and making sure taking care of myself so I could be available for them. Because that's really what the whole life is about, really.
It's balance.
It's just balancing every fucking thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, but one thing I wanted to ask you about your business though, like, you know what I mean, I feel like, yeah, you can make this like a designer type of thing where, you know what I'm saying, you could put your name on it, put your stamp on it, you know what I mean? But what if there was an offer on the table to make it bigger, you know what I'm saying, to make it, you know, more streamlined, or you know, something that's like, you know, in like all over United States type of thing, like would you ever consider something like that? Because even though you are in person, you know, type of you know, right then and there type of experience type of person, I mean, would the you know, if the right check come along, are we taking it? Is what I'm trying to ask. I'm just saying, because you know, cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, $1 bill, yo. We all know that.
You know, and that's the thing. So there was kind of an offer where the company that does like the Jetas and some of these other major pre-rolls was like, they would love to send this to the people, you know, overseas where they get their products made to make them. And, you know, they mentioned how they probably would really enjoy making them. And I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. But I think personally, I love the concept of you don't buy an artist's artwork that's mass produced, you know? I mean, you can, and that's really dope. But it's really more authentic when it's coming from the actual artist. So there's some other things that, you know, I don't want to really speak on too much that I want to work on, where it's like even just me teaching you at home how to make the same art piece that I'm making. I think that's going to be more beneficial than mass producing another product that's on the market. And then you lose kind of touch with it. Not saying I would definitely consider mass producing, but I think I would still focus on live rolling. You know, I think that's the goal, is to have this experience of you bringing me, again, what you consider as gas. I don't want to say buy this pre-roll and the weed inside it. Again, you know, everybody just has different preference. When I think of Wolf Designs and I think of a Wolf Roll, I think of, again, someone that comes to me and they're like, I smoke this and I want grabba in my okay, we're back.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
yeah, I was just saying, you know,
yeah, go ahead.
when it comes to the Wolf Roll, I think the live experience is better than a mass production. Also because I personally want to touch every piece that goes, you know. So again, when I look at mass production, it's me producing a high quantity and then doing special releases and saying, hey, I got this many that is going out this date, catch them while you can, or catch me live at an event, you know. And I think that's going to be more so the route that I take when it comes to like legal market. You know, I'm talking about getting my papers in some of these dispensaries, just setting up with snail papers, pretty much trying to like finalize details so that, you know, basically, listen, you guys keep inventory, just give me a percentage. Let's put these in the store. You know, there aren't papers like that out there. Yeah, they do, other paper companies. But when we're looking at like the colorful filter tips, you're not finding that in your local bodega or, you know, your corner store. So I
Word.
think, you know, and I've shown some of my corner stores these papers and they're like, oh, that's super dope. And I know they're gonna sell out as soon as they put them in the store. So I'm just trying to make sure that we can order on a high quantity and take over the game, you know, like,
Come on now.
hey, let's do
That's what's
it.
up. That's what I'm talking about. That P
You know,
power. And
Oh,
so
hell
yeah.
it's just so within the game, like one of the things that we promote is it's amazing. All of these amazing gadgets, all of these great dispensaries that are popping up at the same time. It's like there's a sadness behind it because there's people still in jail for this shit. So it's like I feel like, you know, joining organizations where we know that money is going into like legislation to get people, like, you know, not only get people released but provide real resources, you know, on some real shit. So as
Yeah.
we're sitting here and enjoying this lifestyle, which is a privilege, it reminds me kind of like white privilege, how it must
No,
be in a
and
sense.
I'm not tapped into advocacy work as much. You know, I have a couple of friends who are more tapped in than I would be or that I am, but I am one that like volunteer my service. If there's somewhere I can support by maybe coming out and doing a bunch of free rolls for the community, that's something I can provide, you know. Let me provide this service, you know. So I think that's like something, you know, again, I want to tap in more to where it's like it's not always about the actual dollar amount and just more so about the community. Again, like I'll say it over and over. I'm thankful for my community. I have a small group of people that we call each other the smoke shop, and it's kind of like we all promote each other and kind of big up each other because it's like when we talk about community and stuff, this is so important. So again,
Word.
it's like, you know, again, as it might be a privilege now for us to do this, it wasn't always a privilege. And, you know, there's people that paved the way for us to get here. And I definitely want to continue to give back as much as possible in any way, you know. And I
And
think
you
it's
know, I'm
important.
talking to myself at the same time. I'm not like pointing fingers. I just think that whoever's listening to this podcast, it's like it's a question for all of us.
Yeah.
Whether you're new to the game or you're in the game for, you know, your own monetary value, which we are too. We're a business and we're enjoying the perks of this culture, not just the plant itself, the culture behind it. You know what I mean? And so I think that it's kind of like a prayer of, hey, you know, we still have brothers and sisters that are still dealing with this crisis. And
Mm-hmm.
what can we do, really? We might not be able to hire a lawyer, but there are literally organizations that are trying to. Now, one lady that we were talking to, her name, she was part of the OR project that was meant to do that. I think there's been a standstill, which happens, I understand, but there are still organizations that are going strong for the cause. And so even if you know like a lawyer or something that can, you know, offer some pre bono work or I don't know, just little things. And again, it's all about getting resources. So aside from that, I just feel like so do you think you're at a point right now that you're making more than if you were just working a 9 to 5 job?
Um,
That's a loaded question,
yes.
kind of, right? Because it depends on what 9 to 5.
I
It
mean,
depends on like
shit.
the it
Okay.
depends on the
So
weeks.
are you a lot? I will.
So
Pardon?
work is not, I was gonna say it
What
depends
is
on the
that?
months. It depends on the months and what's going on in said months. So again, it's like I've noticed there's
Okay.
like gaps and there's ups and downs, you know?
Mhm.
So there are times where now in my downtime, I do, like I said, small batch work. So I might roll a pound for a company that, you know, can give out to their customers and, you know, have that for them to, you know, have around. So that makes up for like if I don't have gigs up in the space. But you know, it is a fluctuating job. It's not certain. You know, there's still a lot of people that have to learn about me. And you know, again, I've been so tapped into my community that, you know, it's just a beautiful thing because now I'm getting to know what's outside of my community and starting to bring different communities in with each other and figuring out
So
again show people what this plant is really about, you know.
Word.
that's what's up.
But
Advocacy.
And that's the goal, you know, it's just to again open up people's eyes, where it's like, I know it could be looked at as a negative stigma, but then when you see productive people pushing the space, like, I have a friend, Frankie, who sells in legal market. He's a drug dealer for the legal market, and it's crazy because he just goes to the store and he sells them weed. And
Boom.
it's like, there
No,
you go.
see, I was getting ready to ask you about that because first of all, you live here in New York City. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna ask you to call out the specific borough. I'm in Brooklyn. I don't give a fuck. I could call out my borough, but I'm just saying you live here in the New York City, and and like I know. Because even the other day, I'm walking down the street. I'm walking down Pickens Avenue. And I'm talking on live with Ruby, and I just happen and literally as we talking, I literally look across the street and one of these smoke shops pop up. Like literally, it was just there. And I literally said to her, I was like, "Yo, Ruby, check this out. I walk down this street all the time. This motherfucking store wasn't here yesterday. That store wasn't there yesterday.
Yeah.
Okay." It wasn't there. It wasn't there.
Y'all move quick out there.
You know
That's
what I'm
for sure.
saying? It wasn't there. So
They do.
you know what I mean. So the illegal market is on some. I never gave a fuck about OCM type of shit. You out here?
Okay, no, sorry. He sells to the legal market.
The legal market or the illegal?
Yeah.
Legal.
No, he sells to the legal market.
Oh, the legal.
He goes up to the
Okay.
dispensaries. Again, I love my legacy people. Legacy drug dealers really paved the way. So I'm not gonna just turn on my legacy drug dealers. They're the ones that were given prescriptions and helping communities stay medicated. Let's be real. It is a medicine at the end of the day, no matter how much we consume. Yes, do we overconsume sometimes? Hey, but again, as long,
what is that? What does that mean?
if I'm not an obstruction to myself or to others and I'm being productively active, then I don't see an overconsumption, because again, me and my friends, we wrote crazy pieces, and that's okay, and people from the outside might look at it as an overconsumption, but we're talking about maybe 8 people in a sesh. So yeah, a 7-gram blunt sounds still a little under.
I'm just saying, exactly. Never mind the fact. Again, the whole concept for me is marijuana is a chick. She live in my house. She don't pay no bills. Don't nobody bother her. Everybody knows her. Nobody's scared of her.
She don't pay bills. She costs the bill.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody ain't worried about her. No, you know what I'm saying? The kids don't hide from her. Kids know exactly who she is. Everybody comfortable with her. You feel me?
Listen,
you feel
and
me?
even
she's
even
a resident.
that,
she's a resident.
like even having, you say like how the kids are comfortable with it. It just reminded me of like even when I had to teach my nephews what it was, and how to look at it. And it's not even for my safety with them, but it's for their safety outside of the home, because kids in school, parents have smoke weed. It's not an uncommon thing. And again, kids are sometimes nosy. So, I explain to them, you see a caution with a triangle on it, that's probably not something that you should consume. And you come ask me, or, if you're outside and someone offers it to you, you look at the packaging, see if you see these, little signs on it. If you see something like this is not something for you to consume, and I have stuff in my fridge that I consume. And, I've taught them like, that's, this is a medicine for me. And I've even showed down to like my medical card. I have a medical card, just to keep it safe and just to show them like, there's,
and the education is invaluable.
Absolutely.
It's about giving them the education.
And then at the same time, they won't go up in nobody's school and tell nobody no foolishness. Because it's like, I done had a discussion with you. Therefore, you ain't got to go outside and go snitch. Don't be no snitch.
And not even that, because it's like people drink around their children, and that's acceptable.
Word.
And it's crazy because again, when I explained it to my nephew and stuff like that, I was like, what happens after I consume? We're most likely playing a game. We're gonna watch a movie together. We're gonna order some food or something. It's always something productive, and it's always something happy to do. It's not like I consume and I want to go take a nap on the couch. You know, it's
Word.
like, honestly, it gives me energy to want to do things because now I want to do this high. You know, have
Right.
you know, it's
So
and
you mentioned, Krys, that you started later on. Why?
you know, people in my family didn't make it look its highest, you know. Maybe they weren't productive, they didn't graduate high school.
Okay.
So again, I looked at it as a negative thing, like, oh yeah, if you do smoke this is how you end up. You know,
Oh,
and so I was very against it. Even so that, like,
interesting.
my friends hid it from me when they started smoking. Nobody wanted to tell me anything.
Oh
And it wasn't in, yeah.
shit, you're
And
that person.
yeah, we look at the tables now and like, oh my God, how the tables have turned. You know, like, I still smoke and some of my friends don't smoke. And like, I'm in a whole business and doing this and stuff like that. And it's like,
Wow.
yeah, you know, I had to consume it for myself. So I was like, I'm a really shy person at times, but when I
Mm.
consume, it allows me to be social. So
Right.
that's
Ah,
why, you know, even starting off, I had to smoke. And a lot of people might not notice this about themselves too sometimes, but like, I know that I'm a shy person deep down inside. But when I started to smoke weed, you know, I came out the bathroom and I remember talking to every single person in the room. And I was like, yo, who am I? You know, and then I just started consuming more and finding confidence during consumption, you know, and just
mm,
understanding like all these other little thoughts in my head are just thoughts, you know, it's not actually things that are taking place. So it was just
Right.
finding a balance of how to quiet the noise and focus in
mm.
on what's like what matters, and then, you know, just honing in on that piece. And then like literally now to creating a whole job out of it, it's just insane to me.
Whew.
And I like promote the
Word.
plant. But again, too much of anything is bad for you, you know. Can't take too much sugar, that's, you know, terrible for you. Can't drink too much soda, that's not good for you. Even too much water is a problem, you know.
Mm.
It's just about finding balance with everything, and when you find that balance, keep track of it, you know. Like, I'm not going to take, you know, 300 milligrams and go chill with the kids. Because then they might see me passed out on the couch. You know, it is what it is. You know,
I
so there's a
mean,
time and place to do it. When they're not here, oh yeah,
So,
let me get 500 milligrams. Let's go. You know,
word.
so it's just about how you consume and being smart about when consuming, and then setting a good example for those who are behind you, because there's always someone watching you, you know.
mm,
And I know at some point they say when you get to a certain number where you have, like, you know, kids that might look at you and want to be inspired by you, or, you know, whatever the case is. I mean, my nephew sends me pictures of things that he thinks I should order that will fit in my room. Like anything with a
mm,
plant, he's like, oh, Titi, this is your store, right? Like,
mm. That's so
you know.
beautiful.
But again, it's just showing healthy consumption, and then if they do decide to do it, then they know how to consume and still get things done. It doesn't have to hold you back, you know. And there's an age limit
Absolutely.
on everything, you know. Like I told them, the same way you go to the doctor and he gives you a prescription and he tells you how much you can take of this, it's the same thing. You know, you have to get a
Right.
prescription so they know how much you can consume, whether it's THC, whether it's CBD. I think some of these kids can use CBD, and it's sadly not used as often that it should be, because a lot of people give their kids, you know, these harsher
Ritalin.
drugs, right?
Mhm.
And when
To
you can give
name
them
one
something of a more natural base, whether it's to calm the nervous systems
that's
down.
actually effective and yeah, and natural and effective, and it's just interesting like how hemp could totally wipe out industries just on how
Is it
industrious it
crazy
is.
when you look at the government? You
Well,
know,
no, it's
again,
not crazy because when you really think about it, the name of the game for them is the dollar. They, you know what I mean, and the government, just like the medical facilities and the doctors and the pharmaceutical companies, all their whole goal is to just put a patch on it. Ain't no such
right.
thing as fixing it. Because if we fix it, then we'll never see you again. Then we don't get no more money from you. No, 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 no. We're gonna put a patch on it, and we're gonna make
Yeah,
you think everything
why would
is
I want
good.
you to grow
And then
your
in the
own
6 months
medicine?
when you come back, we say, oh yeah, we gotta charge you more money now because oh yeah, we're gonna give you this drug. And by the way, the drug might make your hair fall out, you might have a heart attack, but everything else gonna get fixed though. Don't worry about these side effects I'm telling you about though. Don't worry about all that.
As they play like this family running through the park in like
Don't worry about all that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because even the other day, me and my husband was sitting here cracking up over the hot flash commercial, because I'm 51. I get hot flashes, and my hot flashes are fucking deadly as fuck. But there's a commercial with a drug talking about, oh, we'll get rid of the hot flashes, but you might vomit a little. You might. No, you might vomit a little. You might get a couple of headaches. You know what I'm saying? The hot flashes might come back a little worse. You know what I'm saying? But for some women, we fix it. For some women, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I had got shoulder surgery a few years back, and the only medication that I took was kratom and CBD and THC, of course. And I took no major pain meds, and I was completely fine. I'm healed, and it was amazing. But you know, they were trying to give me like opioid, and again, kratom is not talked about too much, and it's like a powder. I know it tastes disgusting. Well, I heard it tastes disgusting in a drink. I used to put mine in like little pill capsules and take like 7 of them at a time, just because of the doses of how much you would need to like how much of that powder you needed to consume. And there was like one that I would take for nighttime and one that I would take for the morning, and that was like my only pain med. So I don't listen to these doctors on what to take or what to do. I'm gonna find my own way and see what happens, because you know, this is, again, they want you sick so that you come back for more.
Boom. And what you're doing is so beautiful and rebellious in its own right. I love a good rebel. And so just keep that energy. Also, like, so is it safe to assume that because you're such a great roller that you're also great at sucking dick?
What?
Lord have mercy.
Or am I like,
Lord have mercy.
Oh my God.
She ain't asked you. She said, all right. She don't got a person in her life. But is she practicing sucking dick on the side? Is what she wanna know. No. Is you practicing sucking dick on the side by rolling the perfect?
No, there's such a attention to detail that's unmatched, yo. So it's like, you got to, I'm assuming.
I'm not one to brag. I let my work speak for itself.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I've been trying to do a masturbate-a-thon. Been trying to do one, an online one, in which, now for real, a proceed of it would go to an actual cause, like
what she's trying to do is trying to get somebody to masturbate in front of a camera, and people, you know,
pay-per-view
donations as they watch this masturbation.
Not that.
Now my thing is this: from the first time, I mean, because she's been singing about this idea for 3 years. And for the first time I heard this idea, I mean, I was thinking about, I was like, yo, this should sound cool. But then at the same time, it's like, hold up, that's kind of like porn. Like, that's porn. Like, no, that's
no
porn. I mean, we go
absolutely not.
To show that's porn.
It's a sexual
and I keep telling her, you can't do that shit on YouTube.
In which we all can share that sexual energy and manifest. And we can, for those that are interested in, like, maybe they don't have to see the live of it, but they could see like clips of behind the scenes where people would feel comfortable, maybe like a testimonial, like, oh my God, that was amazing. Or, you know, maybe hearing the moans instead of seeing anything, but you know, we'd have, I don't know, however anyone feels comfortable. It could be maybe not a live setting, eventually a live setting, but we could do a digital where we all do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
So Ru, what exactly does that have to do with Krys? What does that have to do with Krys?
the genius of the mind, where anything you can perceive will come true. And like she said, I've been talking to Bill for a good 3 years. I just haven't gotten the logistics and the participants yet.
Okay.
So if anybody's listening to this that wants to participate, hit up my DM.
I could probably send this
Krys
to a
is
few
all
people.
for it based on. What is that?
I could probably send this out to a few people, beforehand. It's just
well, how about we put a twist on it, like masturbation and marijuana?
So what's funny is,
you know what I'm saying?
What's funny is like one of my secret intros to cannabis was kind of like being a foot like model in a sense, where I had a foot page, like about 8,000 people on there, and it was just like a kind of popping at the time. Long story short, I don't do that.
Or like an
anymore.
OnlyFans type of thing where people saw your page and pay you to see your feet.
Just to see feet, maybe buy a pair of my socks that I wore for the day or something,
Nice.
My friends have been trying to get me to learn how to roll up with my feet, and I'm just like, guys, no. And mind you,
girl,
personally speaking, there's nothing special about feet. I honestly do not like feet like that. I don't like my feet, nor do I want anybody else's feet on me. I'm more of like, let's sleep with socks on kind of person. But again, at the time frame, I was dating someone who was super into feet, and that was kind of like my intro to sex. So I thought that was like a normal thing too. But yeah, so I dabbled in the foot industry for a little bit, but yeah, I respectfully, that's not me.
Okay.
But I could probably send some people your way that might be interested.
There you go.
Please
that's
send the people to her inbox. Let's not, befuddle Motherhood Sex Marijuana's inbox with this foolishness. Miss Ruby Doll has her own inbox. Befuddle her inbox with that shit. Because I'm the main one that monitors the Motherhood Sex Marijuana inbox, and I don't want nothing to do. No, because you see, first of all, from the minute she was pitching this idea, her husband was sitting around like, what's she talking about? Y'all doing what? Y'all doing? I said, no, baby, not me. I ain't doing a motherfucking thing.
Not I.
Okay, so
yes.
It's a no at the moment.
Then all these inquiries to her DM. Don't even bother my shit with that fuck.
No problem.
Eventually, people are gonna want to pay to
listen
all of our pussies. That's what I'm saying.
There's an audience for everything.
There damn sure is.
What's that?
There's an audience for everything. So I give it to you. Best of wishes on that. There's an audience for it.
Right. Sure Lord have mercy. But no,
but how
do people book you?
Take the porn route.
I'm sorry, which question was it?
No, I was saying, how do people book you?
So at the moment, you can send me a DM. I mainly work off of referrals. So my more important thing is like someone has to have either sent you my way or maybe I've met you in person. Right. It's rare that I'm gonna do a random gig just because again I am a female in this space. I just need to
want to be involved in no crazy shit with crazy ass niggas.
Right, I just want to protect myself as much as possible. Absolutely. I do have a group of people that I normally show up with. We call each other the smoke shop, and we kind of just go to events. We smoke up together. We have one person who's, into glass, and they have a glass company behind them. We have some influencers just, does fashion, does interviews. One works in like a legal dispensary. We're pretty much panned out all in our space, and we're like just all killing it in our moments, and then we come together and we create like super dope content, and the vibe is just amazing. So when people see us at events, it's like I want to smoke with them. Like they're doing some stuff, But yeah, the easiest way is to send me a DM, and to have a referral. That's more of the important part, and you'll get my attention much faster.
Word.
That's what's up, yo. Shout out to
Security
you
is
and
important.
everything you're doing.
Thank
You're
you.
maybe blessed upon like more than this world can offer. Like just keep on blessing you because it's gonna bless us too, because it's all about finding your niche. And that's why this space is just so invaluable. Like we come together, we discuss, we shoot the shit, we laugh a little bit, I get silly a little bit, but then we come back to like the core of it. And it takes a lot of self-love to do what you do. How did you learn, how did you gain that confidence within yourself?
So for me personally, it started with TikTok. Seeing I used to have a TikTok following. It was like 47K probably. It was pretty high on TikTok, and that's where I really found confidence as far as like being a bigger girl, showing my stomach, and kind of like still being very feminine and cute at the same aspect. I'm not a super feminine person. You know, I am more of a tomboy at times, but just finding outfits that shaped me better, where it was like, okay, I'm not coming outside looking like Squidward or SpongeBob, you know, but trying to show some shape into it. And then finding, like, again, finding the BBW confidence on TikTok where, you know, people were like, I love that, I love that, I love that. And then finding that confidence in real life, having the support of my community, having people come up to me and say maybe how I've inspired them because of the way I look, or because of my race, and or because I'm a female and I'm killing it. You know, I genuinely lean to those moments when I do feel down, and I try to look at those aspects and say, you know what, someone else sees a beauty in it, and I might not see it all the time, because even in my wolf roles, sometimes I forget how beautiful they can be. So when I pass them to somebody and they're like raving about it, it's like, oh yeah, I've been there, saw that, you know. But it's like remember, you know, it's remembering that this is something new to them and maybe they haven't seen it, you know. So it's understanding that, you know, it's not always just your perception of things, but knowing that we all have our ups and downs, and just trying to, again, manage through this life that we have, and try to do it with a smile and with a positive energy, because that really comes back to you, you know.
Damn sure does.
For
I'm super
real.
blessed, you know, like I said, and a lot of it I blame, you know, not blame, sorry. A lot of it I think to having my nephews and having this experience, because I'm so open to help them. The universe has just been providing things for me and been telling me like, this is your path, this is what we need you to do. Look at this right here, right there, you know. Even having events that were cannabis related that I can bring the children to, that were outdoors, show them. So like we had a block party, and now my nephew asks, oh, do you have any more kid-friendly cannabis events that I can go with you to? Because he sees that it's a vibe, you know. He likes the people, he likes the kids that are around, you know. So it was just like understanding that that's really what it is. It's to just continue to build community, continue to understand that we're all sick. You know, Gina Jade told me this. We're all sick, and this is why we're in this community, and this is why we smoke weed, you know, because it is a medicine. And we might not have the same sickness, but there's something off, and this is why we consume. You know, so to keep that in mind, I work with people who want to work with me. If you don't want to work with me, that is fine, because I don't need the stress. I want to work with like-minded people, and I'm not chasing after the dollar, because if it doesn't suit me, it's gonna pain me later.
Yo, and
That's
you
right,
know what?
Queen.
First of all, one thing I like you said that cannabis friendly, kid friendly events with that involve cannabis. Because yes, the fuck, we some of us don't got babysitters. The fuck, you there right? And some of us would like to be able to take the kids to the spot. You know what I'm saying? Let them run and play, do what the fuck they do, and then you in your corner doing whatever the fuck you do. You know what I'm
And it's
saying?
hard because
Everybody's good, everybody's safe, you know what I'm saying? And everybody is enjoying the environment. Hell the
And it's
fuck
not
yeah.
morally wrong.
And
So
it's
why
nothing,
would it?
and
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong, because everybody in the space is basically involved in the same thing. You know what I mean? It's about you know, just you know, enjoying cannabis and knowing that your kids are right there, and they are safe, and they know you are involved in cannabis, and therefore they not tripping. Ain't nobody tripping. Everybody's good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
everybody's good.
exactly. And then another thing I like that you said is that, you know, you work with a team that goes with you to, you know, these different events, because again, you don't want to be in any kind of situation where you feel any type of way and whatnot. You know what I mean? You want to definitely be involved in a situation where you're safe, and you know you're gonna be able to enjoy. And the way weed is running now, the way weed events are running now, ain't nothing but grown people that show up to these events. Ain't nobody coming up in there trying to fight. Ain't nobody in there on some you stepped on my sneaker, I'm about to fuck you up type of vibe. Everybody is on a cool, relaxed type of let's chill. Let's have a fucking good time type of vibe. So it's like, you know what I mean? That's the kind of environment you need to be around in the first place. You know what I mean? So shit, that literally is what you need in your life, in your space in the first place. You know what I mean? That's the only way you'll be able to enjoy and actually appreciate what's going on around you. And another thing is, yo, just even in your space, when you think that nobody's watching you, you know what I'm saying, nobody's paying attention to you, and you feel like you know what I mean, you working hard and nobody's seeing your hard work, somebody will come along and tell you, like, real, you know, just lay into you and just give you some genuine words, or hit you in the DM and be like, yo, I seen what you did at that show. I seen, you know what I mean? And keep up the good work. You really doing, you know, some really great work. And that's, and just that little bit of encouragement will let you know that that what you're doing is right. And you know what I mean? And you shouldn't feel bad that, you know what I mean, even if it's like, you know, you only get like one booking this week, or one, you know, it's still somebody seeing you. You know what I mean? It's still somebody seeing your hard work and appreciating your hard work. So you're making small steps to get to the big steps. You know what I mean? And that's all. Of that is important. You know what I mean? All of that is it comes with the I'm not giving up on me type of, you know, energy that people need to give out on a regular basis. Like, it doesn't happen. For the biggest motherfucker in the world, it didn't happen in one day. It didn't happen in 1 week. It didn't happen in 1 month. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep going at it in order to, you know, to make it to, you know, your ultimate goal. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I like how you said you can't work with everybody. Like, I had to learn that as well. I think being an entrepreneur, it's like you're so hungry in a sense, and you want to like get your name out there and all that stuff. But when I feel an energy from somebody that maybe is just like, I don't know, it's just like, you just know that, okay, maybe this is just a
all
way
money
for me
ain't good money is basically what that is. It's like, you can't, you know what I mean? Some people come with the wrong energy, will bring money, but will bring the wrong energy. And it's better you leave that shit on the table
the money's not worth
that
it.
shit on.
Exactly. It's okay. And so, Krys, thank you so much again for your time. I know that it's been a long conversation, but a very good and fruitful one. I think we all can have learned so much from you.
Indeed.
And do you have any words of encouragement for somebody who is just trying to gain confidence in themselves?
My words would be, when, you know, there are going to be people who are for you, there are going to be people who are against you, and no matter what you create, you're going towards the people that are for you. So the people that are against you, block them, delete them, or let them sit there and watch. You know, again, they're a viewer, so you know, block it out. But you know what you're creating for is the people that are for you, and that's the goal. So if you keep that in mind, and you know that your whole purpose is to go for the people that want to genuinely watch what you're doing, then there wouldn't be an issue for you not to feel confident, because again, you're building yourself off of a community that want to see you win. So, you know, like I said, there's a following for everything. So when I jumped on the internet and decided to, you know, drop the feet image and kind of focus on just me being a stoner versus, you know, me showing feet, it was, you know, again, a scary moment, because, you know, I was I'm a plus size girl, and I was afraid of like, oh, body shame and, you know, what people would think. But then, you know, finding the confidence to be like, you know, people genuinely want to see this stuff, you know. There are other BBWs that may feel how I feel or felt like I felt, and, you know, they have a certain confidence that they found in themselves. So for me personally, again, just work for the people that are like-minded, that want to see you win, and for all the rest, smile and wave.
And definitely love yourself as you are. Just fight the whole stigma, the whole fucking image of being perfect body. Your body is perfect because God has made it how it is. It ain't no fucking, ain't no doctor can make that shit perfect. You're a perfect exactly how you are. Good pum pum, have on in. So if you got an on in, love that on in, bitch. That's what that means. You know what I mean? Fuck that. You know what I mean? And we definitely thank you for being on the show, because absolutely, you know what I mean? Not only do we want to promote that, you know, a self-positive image of yourself, self-love, definitely creating, you know, a path, no matter what kind of business it is, whether it's in cannabis or not in cannabis, you using your brain to create your own business and create yourself a brand and now expanding on that brand. That's important. That's definitely important, no matter what it is. You know what I mean?
One thing I would say,
what?
Everything is a perception. Everything is a perception, you know. It's how you perceive things. You might think my hair is fully done right now, but the whole top half needs to finish getting braided.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell
You know,
you gotta get back to your hair appointment. You damn right. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. Again, when for anyone that's watching and you're nervous of what people, you are the person that creates what people see. So you create what you're comfortable with creating. If you're not comfortable showing your face, but you want to show that you still consume, maybe just do videos of smoke going into the air. Smoke going into air is a really satisfying looking thing. Put that shit in slow-mo, you know? But just remember that there's so many different avenues to take, that you don't always have to put yourself in light, but you can still put yourself in a path to create light, you know.
However, whatever your light
I appreciate you, women.
We appreciate you, and we thank you for being on the show. We'll definitely drop your Instagram information in the comments when we drop this video. We'll make sure and send you a link of the video when the video drops on YouTube.
Such a queen, such a goddess.
And again, shit, you're part of the show. So at any point in time, you know, you got events you want to promote, you got anything you want to promote, you could always hit us up. You can always come back. You know what I'm saying? Because we damn sure gonna be, after we finish season 6, we're gonna be planning season 7. And if something happens for you, if during the season 7 taping and you want to come through, shit, you're definitely welcome. You know, and on that note,
we want to do live performances.
Yes,
so we touch.
Motherhood Sex Marijuana definitely wants to do live performances, but we're gonna end this episode right now by saying Motherhood Sex Marijuana in the motherfucking building. All right, girl. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Bye, guys. Enjoy your night.
Now, get back to getting to that beauty appointment.
Yeah, thank you.
All right now.